Welcome back, my friend. I hope you had a good week. Ready to dive into this next moment with me? Come on, let's get cozy. All right, now that we're settled, how many times have you asked yourself, is this the right time? Am I in the right moment? What if this doesn't work out? And then things just kind of unravel and work out, or things just go very smoothly and you don't understand why. Well, today we're here to talk about if it's meant to be, it'll be. Here are some experiences where synchronicities of life just happened. And I'm talking about experiences in time. They didn't always make sense, but they did. They eventually did. Let's go back to 2016. 2016 was a year of change for me. We already spoke about 2017, and that was a very tough year for me. That was transformative. So, 2016 was a year when I was working for a company in management. I had made great friends through that company. Three of my best friends come from this experience in life. My little apple buddies, you guys know who you are. Shout out and a big hug and a big kiss. I hope you guys are all watching and doing great. But during this time, I chose to go back to school, and that moment was a bit of a blur. It was something that feels now like it just happened. Was I looking for it? No, but I think it was looking for me. With this experience came a lot of new people. Um, Starting school was scary because of cultural values or cultural instillment. We grew up with us not being accepted as, you know, hairstylist, or that's only for, you know, women, or whatever it was. It was a very macho mentality, and that instills fear, trauma. So I always carried that with me, and this never felt like a career option for me. And from a younger time, I always played with hair color and cutting with my cousins, with myself, with my mom, with my sisters. I was always very hands on when it came to changing somebody's color or having my little blonde patch back in the day. Um, I did my cousin's crazy colors. I've had purple mohawk, red mohawk, different color little patches, blue, green, yellow. I've had neon hair. I've had purple roots. I've done it all, right? But it all started around 15 or 16. And I think that should have been my moment to realize that it's probably something I love to do. Well, with that being said, let's walk forward into day one of school. Walking into my first day was a very scary moment because I knew everything was about to change. I had just stepped down from a position of management. I went from being a secure income household to whatever tips is going to make me. And I had a strong support system. At the time, I was married, so my ex husband was very supportive through this journey. But it still was scary. It still was a lot of change happening at once. But I walked in to my first day to meet all of my classmates who I'm so proud of seeing everything you guys have accomplished. Even if you're not in the industry, you've chosen different career paths and different structures of family to create and different businesses to launch. And I'm so happy that everyone is doing great. But I want to touch base or talk about, I want to talk about one person in that room who changed my life forever. We are going to call her Miss B. Miss B is her last name, right? But we used to call her something else. But Miss B was my first mentor, and I didn't know it. In this new walk of life, she instilled three different things in me that were carved into my heart, my mind, and my soul that I've carried on with me through the past decade. And I don't think she knows this, but she made a big difference in my life. I recently reached out to her because I've had another pivotal moment in my life, which we'll get into, but I reached out to thank her and to let her know what a big part of this she has been. But the first day of school, Miss B told us the one thing that has changed me for the better and that has an alternate meaning to what the literal meaning is. But we were soon to embark in what I like to call the blow dry boot camp, right? For those who don't know, I am a cosmetologist. I've been working behind the chair for almost a decade. And recently, I am now an educator for the cosmetology world um, through Bella's Academy. So, back to my first day or one of my first weeks, but she says, I advise you all to do 5 push-ups a day. And we all laughed. Nobody listened. And then she continued to say, just don't say I didn't warn you. So here comes boot camp, right? Blow dry boot camp. And here we all are complaining. My arms hurt. I can't do this. I don't want to finish it. Our elbows are down. Our tools aren't being held correctly. And she jokingly says, have you been doing your 5 push ups a day? And we all laugh and say, no, why would we do that? And she said, because you're about to hold the blow dryer like this for the rest of your career. And it clicked. She wasn't giving us the advice because she wanted us to do 5 push-ups a day or uh, build muscle or anything. She was handing us the tools to become successful. And that's what I took from that. Do your 5 push-ups a day is putting in the work to achieve the goal. And that's what that taught me. That in order to achieve any goal, or in order to align with what's meant for you, or in order to get on the right path, you always need to do the groundwork because life doesn't hand you what's for you until you're ready to accept it, right? So if you're not aligned to what's coming for you, you're going to miss the opportunities. Eventually, you'll get there, but it'll take longer. So you need to recognize, or I used to have to recognize, what is the work that I need to put into this to achieve the next goal. And that's what Ms. B taught me in the first couple weeks of Cosmo school, of beauty school, of beauty college. And then she went on to the second saying that always has stuck with me, and it's repetition is retention. And this is all in a school setting, so remind be mindful that Ms. B was speaking to students. She was telling us things in the student mind. It wasn't to apply to life, it was literally to apply to what we were learning. But these are just words that were so powerful to me that I took them on to do more things in life, right? So then she goes, repetition is retention. The more you do something, the better you'll get at it. Or the more you do something, the more it'll stick into your brain. So if you want to learn something, you need to constantly practice, right? So if a baseball player wants to be the best pitcher, they need to get up every day and practice to become the best pitcher, right? If a basketball player wants to be a great shooter, they have to get up every day and practice to get better, right? Because repetition is retention. The more you do something, the more you throw a ball, the more you shoot a ball, the more you kick a football to make it through, the goal. As a soccer player, the more you shoot to the goal. Also, it you instill muscle memory, right? So repetition, retention, repetition. The more you do something, the more you retain. And that's what she was teaching us in school. The more we blow dry, the more we retain. The more we foil, the more we retain. The more practice you do it, the more muscle memory you're gonna have. I can foil with my eyes closed, probably. You know, I can blow dry with my eyes closed. I can't cut with my eyes closed because I probably lose a finger. But you know, these patterns are now instilled in my brain because I've been practicing them for the past 10 years, and this has been something that stuck to me because if I want to do something and be good at it, I will know that I need to repeat it every day. To me, I have applied this with learning new things about myself or trying to make something stay in my brain. This is why I give you guys mantras. The more you repeat something, the more it instills in your brain. Um, this is why I give you a mantra every week. Because every week I want you to repeat this to yourself because the more you repeat it, the more you believe it, the more it's instilled, the more you'll align with. But yeah, that was a very powerful piece of advice she gave us. And the final one was practice makes better. And now do you see how all of these kind of intertwine, how they kind of make sense once you put them after the other? 5 push-ups a day is the work to make the goal happen. Repetition is retention, is the more you do something, the better you'll get at it. And then practice makes better. I'm sorry. So they all go in together, right? So repetition, the more you learn it. Once you learn it, the more you practice it, the better you get at it. And this was hard to comprehend at first, but now that's how I live my life. I find out what the work is that I need to do. I repeat it or do it so that I learn it, and then I practice it or do it over and over and over so I can get better at it. And that's what broke my perfectionist attitude. I am a Virgo, so we have a very absolute personality. Like if there's a plan, you stick to plan, and there's no deviation. And the minute that you deviate, it's like hell will break loose. And I had to get rid of that trait of myself. It's not completely gone because there's times where things still bother me when they're not done at the plan that they've been planned. But that comes down to more respect for time management and stuff like that. But I don't let it overpower me, is what I'm saying now, because that's what these things have taught me. Um, yeah, that was the teachings of Ms. B. That's what the new career path taught me, and they were great tools for my career, but also in life. And I take those with me everywhere I go, and I try to teach those everywhere I go. And now, as an educator for Academy, I am the new Miss B. I'm Miss B from 10 years ago. I'm here to teach those teachings to the next generation of students that I will have. And she's the one that inspired me to go back. That brings me to my 10-year goal. When I left school, I was so inspired by Ms. B that I gave myself a 10-year goal. And in that 10-year goal, I told myself that If I was successful for 10 years, if I still worked behind the chair and I owned my business, not working at somebody else's salon, but my own little shop, I would go back to teaching so I can teach and share with the new students, the new generation of Cosmos, everything that I have learned to give back because once something was given back to me and now I was going to pay it forward, right? And so I got this opportunity to embark in this new education journey. And I'm so grateful. I work with a great team. I have great superiors, and I have it's a great team. And we'll get into it later. But I have achieved a 10-year goal in a year less in time. So it's been about 9 years since I made this goal. And now it's teaching me new things. But that's yet to unravel. I am grateful because becoming an educator brought me to this goal here or this next chapter. Um, I have always knew I wanted to do something like this. I just didn't have all the puzzle pieces. And when I jumped into education, they asked me, "What do you want to be called?" And they were like, "Mr. O, Mr. M, Mr. Munoz." I don't think they said Mr. M. I think they said Mr. O or Mr. Munoz. And I said, "Mr. M." And then I went on to the floor, and with my students, I had a moment. And in my head, I said, "Wow, we just had a Mr. M moment." And that had a ring to it for me. And I came home and I shared that with my roommate. And then she goes, "That's going to be your DJ name, Mr. M." And we were laughing, right? And then it clicked. I was like, "Mr. M Moments. I'm going to start a Mr. M Moments channel. And we're going to take it from there." So I did. I started a Mr. M channel, and here we are on episode 4. But anyways, let's move forward. After school, or towards the end of my school, I was invited to join a glam team by one of my fellow students, or classmates, I should say, by one of my fellow classmates, and I got to meet my next role model. My next role model we are going to call Miss H. Miss H invited me to become her assistant. And this was one of the best opportunities. I just spit. This was one of the best opportunities I was going to get in life, and I didn't even know it. It was going to be the best opportunity, not because I was going to be able to work in the industry before even graduating as a shampoo technician or an assistant, but she was going to teach me so many things that I didn't know I needed. Miss H, shout out to you. Miss B, shout out to you. You guys have been great mentors, and I've seen you mentor others, and I'm so happy you guys were placed in my life to teach me all these things. So, big heart, big shout out. This is what you've created. So, Miss H taught me how to be patient, how to figure things out without frustration. Just not be frustrated all the time, because learning a new craft learning a new craft is frustrating. But Miss H taught me patience. Miss H taught me how to break things down and really see the overall picture. She taught me how to not get lost in the frustration. She molded me to be a great artist in the industry. She taught me how to work hard to achieve what I wanted because I watched her do it in real time. I was part of her journey, and I'm so grateful that she chose me because She didn't know it yet, but she was teaching me so many things, and that right there is one of the priceless things in life. You can't pay for somebody to teach you these things because nobody offers these classes, you know? And I was lucky enough to be chosen by her to embark in the journey that she was taking. And she taught me how to stick to my guns when it came to achieving a goal. This woman is a remarkable woman, and I'm just so proud to have been a result of her teachings. And I'm so proud of her because she's gone on to do greater things, grander things than when I was with her. Um, but yeah, so these were my two mentors, and one taught me very technical things, the other one taught me very artistic things, and when I mixed those teachings together, it created Mr. M. And here we are. I want to give a big shout out to the Euphoria fam also. Euphoria Institute, from admins to classmates to educators to the front desk. You all were a great team in my time because I couldn't have done it without every single one of you. So, shout out, big hearts to all of you. So, with all that being said, the lesson that I learned was to outgrow, release, and evolve. With those teachings came life later, right? And these were the teachings that helped me through 2017, the year coming and inevitable. You know, it was experiences that were made and meant for me, and I couldn't escape them. But with the teachings from these mentors and the teachings that lives were about to give me, I was about to start a period of evolution. If you're unfamiliar with the story yet, check out episode 2. It's in the series and it'll give you a little bit more feedback on what I'm talking about. But with all of that, let's take a little time to center ourselves, really connect. We're going to go into a 3-minute meditation moment. So, wherever you are, take a moment to quiet your mind, close your eyes, and breathe with me. We're going to take 3 breaths in and out, and on the third exhale, we're going to push out everything that we've carried throughout the week so we can start this Monday, the rest of the week fresh. Ready? We're going to breathe in and out, and in and out. Last one, in and out. We're going to stretch our neck, side, other side, roll it down, and the other way. Roll our shoulders back. And roll our shoulders forward. And let's reach up into the sky and stretch. All right. How did that feel? I feel good. I feel better. So, every part of life has a lesson, right? And a lesson is what you take from an experience. It doesn't have to be a bad experience. The good ones come with lessons too. And my lesson from these experiences in life, from my career change, from the mentorships that I came across, were that everything does happen for a reason. And if it's meant to be, it will be. And that protecting knowledge from yourself is not okay. Everything you learn, you need to share. You need to pay forward. You need to translate and transmit and give out, because that's how knowledge is passed down. That's how people learn from you. And my 10-year goal I didn't know back then was that. What's going to be the teachings that I learned? It was going to align with me in perfect timing so that I could start giving back everything I learned. When I left school and I told myself that I wanted to be like Miss B in 10 years, I didn't know exactly what I was saying. I just had it in my brain and I needed to say it to myself. And then life went on and I didn't think about it for years. And then it sparked back up. And that's because during that time that that goal was dormant, life was giving me the experiences to create the momentum so that I could put in the groundwork to become the educator that I wanted to be. And so here we are, almost 10 years later, as a successful business owner. I have a great clientele that I love with all my heart. And now I've embarked on a new journey as an educator with Bellis Academy. And I hope this touches and reaches the right people, because sometimes I know that life can be defeating and we live through experiences that make us ask, why me? Why does everything have to happen to me? But it's not happening to you, it's happening for you. Because God, the universe, your guides, whatever anyone believes in, there is a plan for you. But it's your job to align. And when these experiences are placed in front of you, whether you take it as a bad time or as a good time, or whether it is a bad time or a good time, don't focus on what's happening. Focus on what are you going to do about it? What's the lesson? What are you going to learn? What are you going to take from it? Because what you take from it is what gives you the key to unlocking a new opportunity or your new beginning. For me, this is a big part of my learning. This is why I started my channel, because I want to be that key for whoever I can be. I want to have those teachings to pass down to whoever needs to learn them, or simply be your friend on a mental connection that I am here to share with you what I've been through and what I've learned, and hopefully you can understand. Hopefully you can understand that you're not alone, and somebody out here has gone through it, and I'm okay, and so will you. Or be reflective, be a mirror of everything you've gone through, and hopefully you can see that even the bad brings some of the best in most of us, you know? So thank you for being here. And I want to share this week's mantra with you, which I think is one of my favorites yet. I hope you repeat this to yourself during the week or when you're having a hard time. But this mantra this year, the mantra this week is I don't chase, I align. What's mine will arrive. I am at the right place at the right time. Repeat that with me. I don't chase, I align. What's mine will arrive. I am at the right place at the right time. Thank you for joining me for another Mr. M moment. I hope to see you next week. Don't forget to keep building momentum one moment at a time.